Southeast Community Services has been serving our neighbors on the southeast side of Indianapolis for nearly 50 years. Throughout that time, we've been able to develop long-term relationships with our neighbors to help them overcome obstacles and reach their long-term goals. Never before have we been faced with a crisis like COVID-19. Instead of developing those long-term relationships, we've been here to stand in the gap with our neighbors as they face homelessness, hunger, utilities disconnect, and other obstacles for their families.
It's been a really difficult year, and there have been people unemployed, people that just can't make quite enough money to help pay their utilities. And one of the things that I'm really proud of is that as a community center, we stepped up and helped people apply for the Indy Rents program, which helped folks get up to 3 months of rent being paid for them.
Working through the pandemic was very important to me because it helped us stay connected to our community. Through the 4-month Indy Rent program, Southeast was able to distribute $2 million to over 850 families, which is more than I could have ever expected.
We have a new level of challenge where people have lost jobs and families have been hurt by this. So in my role as a career coach, helping people find employment, helping them pay their bills, pay their rent, we have this new level of challenge of also supporting them processing this trauma that they're going through in real time with the pandemic and trying to help them cope.
Working with neighbors that are in a state of crisis has been eye-opening for myself at different times. I make a choice to be in the trenches with our neighbors, to walk through those journeys with them, to be the most supportive person that I can find in myself. The crisis is there, and we just worked through it as a team.
Working through the pandemic has been, I think, particularly challenging for some of our staff because we like to be out in our community and face-to-face with our neighbors. So it's been really challenging for us to be working from home, away from our people. And food distribution does allow us to connect with our neighbors a little bit closer and face-to-face, which is really great. And so we're able to actually engage with them still around a basic need that they have through the pandemic, but then we can talk to them and engage with them about other services that we have.
So here at Southeast, we're really passionate about helping those in need and helping the community. So one of the ways we did that during the pandemic is opening our food distribution. So on average, we serve about 150 households per week. And it's really important because we're living in a food desert here. So just being able to provide that fresh food and fresh produce to those families is really important to us.
I think what I'm most proud of is how the community has really come together and has seen what the food distribution has done for the community. There are folks that rely on it every single week, which I just think is pretty remarkable.
Empecé a venir casi desde que empezó la pandemia que abrieron aquí por parte de la escuela de mis hijos. Es una forma que ayudan a nosotros para poder tener, que se nos bajó el trabajo y todo esto, y es una forma de aquí de la comunidad que ayuda, que es muy bueno.
And me, myself, I'm feeling 100% better. I'm back on my blood pressure medicine now, where I had to skip my medicine to have something to eat, and that's when I was told about you.
And I view this pandemic like a boxing match. And we as a people, our backs are against the ropes against COVID-19. And there's 20 seconds left in the fight. And the last thing we need is another barrier, another problem, another hardship. The least we can do is be kind to one another and be in support of one another as we fight to get back to a normal life.
Despite the difficulties of the last year, Southeast Community Services has been able to help more than 8,500 people throughout the pandemic. We've done this through programs like the Indy Rent program, through our food distribution, and through direct cash assistance. We wouldn't have been able to do this without the hard work of our staff, with support from our community, and funding from our donors. With your support, we're committed to working with our neighbors to help them create a future after the pandemic. Thank you for making our work possible.